Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and the year-long reading challenge, the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, is done. I finished it on June the 7th. Nope. June 8th. And today is now the 9th. We're going to go over the last things that I read. We're going to fill out the thing, and everything's going to say 100%, and it's going to be fantastic. If you do not know what I'm talking about, then maybe you haven't been here. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is a reading challenge that started on July 7th last year. I started on July 1st because the 7th is weird and I don't want to do that. So I started on July 1st. I had until June 30th to finish. You also may not know, if you haven't been here, I am moving. And so I needed to get this done before I move, only because I got another readathon that's coming up. I'm doing Wonderthon the second half of the month, and I just needed to be done so that I didn't have to worry about entering things and getting everything done while I was traveling / moving. So let's look at the bingos. Everything that's green over here has already been completed and marked off. So this is what it looked like the last time I started this. When I first started my last checkup, this is what it looked like. So for the garage sale books, I finished Loving You Always and Be Mine Forever. I will say this was definitely not my kind of romance. I did not love it, but it is finished. That was up here at the top. Now we have 5 author tubers. That's going to be up here at the very top. And I finished Tower of Dogs. Such a good book. The Secrets of Heartwood Hall, fantastic as well. The Marionettes, it was all right. Not my favorite from this group, but still a good book. And I'm done with that one as well. The whole top line is completed. Row 2, we did not complete The Queer Rainbow until I finished reading Role Playing, which was the one I needed for questioning. And now that one is done and the rainbow is finished. Then 5 books with the lowest ratings. You can see that I saved all of these for last, but The Cautious Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands was fantastic. The rest of these, not so much, and I totally agree with what the ratings are for these. I do need to change this, and apparently there's a couple other ones that I took away some of the lines on. But anyway, some of these were just not great at all, but they are done. So now row 2 is finished. Row 3, I have 5 books that were in the SPFBO. That is the Self-Published Fantasy Blog Off is what it stands for. And it's really just self-published fantasy books. And so we had to pick 5 books that were not finalists or winners. So just somebody that was an entrant into the SPFBO, that's what they call it. So I had all of them to read. I really had 4 out of the 5. I read them. I really enjoyed them a lot. Let's see. Seeds of War, I thought was fantastic. Somebody commented and said that Seeds of War is a long book, but it didn't feel long. And that's exactly right. It went really quickly. I really liked it. The Werewolf of Whitechapel was actually the last book that I read to complete all of Herked, and I really enjoyed it. There were parts in the middle where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to continue with this series. And then the more we went on and learned more and more about the world and the lore, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in. So it is a little bit Jack the Ripper spin kind of, but it was so good. Daughter of Flood and Fury was really good, as was Fly with the Arrow. So no bad books in the SPFBO finalists, which means row 3 is done. Row 4, I had to read a new release every month. And this is where I changed things up a little bit. First of all, I love The Devils, one of my favorite books so far of the year. And then I had a different book picked for June. And I realized that it doesn't come out until June 10th. And I was like, no, I want to finish Herked before the 10th. So I posted here on my community tab and I was like, quick, give me a book that came out in June that I can hopefully find at my library. Well, I could not find it at my library, but Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn, I used my very last Audible whatever it's called, credit to get it. I have not canceled my Audible, but I have dropped it back to where I'm only getting 1 credit every other month because I'm not using Audible as my primary audiobook service now. And so I dropped it way back. I was getting 3 credits a month at Audible and I was like, let's try something different. So that's what I'm doing now. I was able to use my last one to get this one. and it was so good, and finished out my new releases, which means row 4 is done. Now, a book that you backed on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and that was The Sunlit Man by Brandon Sanderson. I did part of the 4 secret projects, and that was the only one that I didn't read that year that they all came out last year. So I backed it, but I didn't read it, and so I counted that as my crowdfunding book. And now we have a book for every season is the last thing down here. And I didn't read the summer book at the beginning because I don't really know why, because I just was waiting. So I read just for the summer for my summer book, and it was really good. It's Abby Jimenez, which I really like her writing, so I thought it was really good. And I'm finished. 147 prompts completed out of 147 prompts. There's my bingo board, all complete, and that says 100%. This has been so much fun going through and trying to find things that fit and everything that I have done to go through this. There is a playlist. If you've missed it or you want to find out what I read for some of these and what I thought about a lot of these, I'm going to put my update playlist. I don't talk about them in every one of these, especially not the way I'm going to do it for Her Kid 2.0. But speaking of Her Kid 2.0, if you want to see that, it will be linked right here at the end as the suggested video for you to go and watch what my plans are for the next year and what I'm going to do. Let me know if you did it, if you attempted it, how was it? I tried to not double up in anything. And so everything I used only one time. And it worked for the most part, but also 147 books for me is not that many books. So I understand if you're only trying to get a certain bingo on here and you're not trying to do the whole board, because 147 books is a lot of books, especially for somebody who has not been reading 147 books a year. So that is everything. That is all of my bingo board done. I love so much that it's completed. I like how everything is pink and everything is checked off. And my little 100% up here is so satisfying. All the green over here is so satisfying. And I cannot wait for July 1st to get here and us to start round 2. Again, maybe leave me some like explosions, like a celebration, because let's celebrate the fact that I finished Her Kid. I'm very happy about it. Also, if you're watching this, this is the very last video that I am filming in my house before we leave. I am actually moving out tomorrow. However, since I filmed things out of order, there's still going to be other videos coming where I'm in this house, but this is the last one that I filmed. So behind the scenes right there, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.